Three of the strongest mutants escape from a prison for highly dangerous criminals and begin to settle the question of who among them is the coolest one. Who will win? Let's find out. Sad Deadpool starts a music box and wanders through his home, sorrowfully reminiscing about his late love, Vanessa. He lies on gasoline barrels, flicks a cigarette butt, and explodes into pieces. Our hero recalls recent events. A few months ago, he did a side hustle, working as a hitman in Japan. Deadpool calls his next victim and prepares for an assault. He leaps from a rooftop directly into a neighboring building, gets hit with a hail of bullets, and tumbles behind the bar counter. Then, he skillfully slices through enemies with his katanas. Of course, his guns and fists also come in handy. Deadpool takes on a variety of assignments, in cemeteries, dance clubs, and even a Japanese bathhouse where he uses a towel as a weapon. However, our hero fails to complete one particular job, allowing his victim to escape and hide in a bunker. Deadpool is attacked by a mob of villains. He flees in a taxi driven by his friend, Dopinder. Deadpool returns home to Vanessa. They kiss and celebrate their anniversary. Deadpool gifts her a token to remind Vanessa of their first date, while Vanessa gives him her birth control device, hinting at her wish to start a family. In the evening, they watch a movie and choose a name for their future child. Deadpool goes to the kitchen to prepare dessert and hears some noise outside the door. Someone blasts the lock open with a shotgun and storms inside. Deadpool fights off the unwelcome intruders with a frying pan, then switches to knives. The man who had previously hidden in the bunker appears. Deadpool throws a knife at him, but misses. The villain manages to fire his weapon. Vanessa falls to the floor. Sadly, there is no saving her. Deadpool weeps and jumps out the window to chase his enemy. He gets hit by a car but gets back up and continues the chase. He catches up to the villain, throws him out of the car, and leaps with him under the wheels of a truck. Deadpool first complains about his tough life to a bartender nicknamed Weasel, and later to his old blind friend, Blind Al. Then, we return to the moment where the protagonist decides to cause a big explosion. Deadpool somehow finds himself underwater. He surfaces and once again sees his wife. He tries to reach her, but an invisible wall stands in his way. At that moment, he returns to reality. The real world doesn't look very good. The scattered pieces of Deadpool are collected by one of the X-Men, named Colossus, who drags them to Charles Xavier's school. 3 days later, our character regains consciousness and converses with Colossus. The mutant advises Deadpool to join the X-Men team, but Deadpool tries to escape in a chair. Colossus catches up with him and throws him to the floor, saying that the X-Men will become his new family, whether he likes it or not. We are taken to the future. The super mutant Cable stands in his burnt home. Neither his wife nor child show signs of life. Cable picks up a nearly burnt teddy bear and a rifle, then adjusts his time-traveling device to move to the past. Cable ends up on a field, steals a pickup truck from the locals, and robs a weapons store. Back to the present. Deadpool meets 2 other mutants, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her friend Yukio. Colossus invites our hero to his first mission as a member of the X-Men team. So, what happened? A mutant boy named Rusty is constantly abused in the orphanage. He rebelled, started a fire, and fought with the police. It's no wonder this guy has the nickname Fire Fist. Rusty stands with flaming fists, threatening everyone. The X-Men appear, and Fire Fist throws a few of his fiery balls at the mutants. Deadpool tries to calm Rusty down, but ends up getting hit by a fireball and gets thrown to the 2nd floor. There, a boy is sitting and eating flakes. Deadpool signs his cereal box, jumps out the window, and knocks out Rusty with the blunt end of his katana. The hero receives applause, and the police place a device on Rusty's neck to suppress his superpowers. The orphanage director thanks Deadpool for his help, while Rusty admits that he has been abused and mistreated in this place. Hearing this, Deadpool grabs his guns and deals with the staff of the orphanage. He is stopped by Colossus. Deadpool and Rusty are sent to a special prison called the Icebox. It turns out that this facility holds a large number of mutant criminals. Deadpool is in a bad situation because the special collar suppresses his regeneration ability. Rusty admits that he is going to escape from the prison and take revenge on the orphanage director for all the abuse he has suffered. Cable is watching the news when he learns that the mutant Rusty has been arrested and placed in the icebox. Turns out Rusty is the reason Cable traveled back in time. Cable starts assembling a powerful superweapon using weapon parts on his bed. Deadpool and Rusty are having lunch in prison when 3 aggressive mutants approach and start taunting Rusty. Deadpool stands up for the lad, but their opponents are much stronger and easily beat up both of them. Suddenly, Cable bursts into the prison. The alarm sounds. The mutant blows up the main control center and opens all the cells, except the one where Rusty and Deadpool are. Cable eliminates the guards in his way and takes a precise shot with a grenade launcher at the cell where Rusty and Deadpool are. Luckily, our heroes managed to escape just before the explosion went off. They try to flee from Cable, but the mutant catches up with them and prepares to deal with Rusty. Deadpool saves the lad and engages in a fight with Cable. The odds are against him, but Rusty rescues Deadpool. Thanks to him, Cable accidentally hits Deadpool's suppression collar, which falls off, and Deadpool gets back his superpowers. Now they can fight Cable on equal terms. Deadpool takes the weapon from the mutant and learns that he's come from the future. They continue fighting, while Rusty voluntarily surrenders to the guards. Deadpool pulls the pin from one of Cable's grenades. The explosion sends them flying and rolling down the side of the mountain. Cable manages to grab a rock, while Deadpool falls into the bottom of the lake. Hallucinating, he sees Vanessa again. The young woman tells him that children are our chance to become better. After this, our hero returns to the real world and emerges from the icy lake. Deadpool tells Weasel about his plan to free Rusty from prison. The bartender informs him that mutant prisoners will soon be moved to a new facility. Deadpool decides to assemble his superhero team to rescue the young mutant. Cable returns to his apartment, stands before the mirror, and recalls the day when Firefist broke into his home, wearing a long, dark cloak. Meanwhile, another fight takes place in the icebox. Seizing the opportunity, Rusty brings his meal to the restricted area and offers it to the giant mutant Juggernaut. The lad proposes that they team up and escape together. Deadpool and the Weasel are reviewing the profiles of their new superhero team members. First, they meet the mutant Bedlam, who has the ability to manipulate electricity. Then, Zeitgeist, a mutant who can spit acid. Joining the team are Vanisher, an alien named Shatterstar, the mutant Domino, with the superpower of good luck, and an ordinary man named Peter, who just showed up in response to an ad. Rusty and the other mutants are prepared for being transferred to a new prison. Cable takes Weasel hostage and uses threats to extract all the information about the convoy carrying Rusty. Deadpool's team develops a plan to free Rusty. They all jump out of the plane to the upbeat tune of AC/DC, making a very dramatic and stylish descent, but the strong wind throws them off course. Deadpool lands first, hanging from a billboard. Bedlam crashes into a bus immediately, while Shatterstar lands under the helicopter's rotor. Vanisher lands on electrical wires. Oops! Peter manages to land successfully, but Zeitgeist ends up in a garbage compactor. Peter rushes to help him and tries to pull him out, but Zeitgeist spits acid at him. Only Domino remains alive. Deadpool hops on a scooter and heads off to chase after the convoy. Domino lands, and we see just how lucky she is. Within half a minute, she's already inside the convoy's cabin. Cable appears and shoots at the truck, but thanks to Domino's luck, a sunlight glare hits his eyes, causing him to miss. Cable catches up to the truck and tries to get to Rusty. Domino does everything she can to stop him. She fights with Cable, and we see that this young woman is an excellent fighter. Deadpool is not as lucky and struggles greatly to catch up with the truck with the mutants. He saves Domino, asks her to return to the driver's seat, and then engages in a fight with Cable. Our hero deflects enemy bullets with his katanas. At this moment, the truck's brakes fail. Rusty manages to escape from his cell and frees Juggernaut. The massive mutant immediately strikes with his fist with such force that both the truck and the bridge it was driving on break apart. The vehicle shatters into pieces, and everyone flies in different directions. Lucky Domino falls onto an inflatable panda, while Deadpool, as usual, survives. He sees Rusty and Juggernaut. The enormous monster attacks our hero and splits him into two halves. Rusty says that he will go to the orphanage to take revenge on the director. Deadpool tries to talk him out of it, but the lad doesn't listen. Domino takes Deadpool's top half with her, carrying him like a backpack. We see that Cable survived too. Deadpool complains to the blind owl about how stubborn Rusty is. Then, Weasel bursts into the apartment and notices that Deadpool has the legs of a 2-year-old. Soon, Dopinder and Domino also arrive. Weasel talks about Cable's terrible torture. Deadpool promises to personally save Russell, but just then, Cable himself enters the apartment. Everyone grabs weapons, but the mutant raises his hands and offers a deal. The thing is, today, Rusty will commit his first crime, and at some point in the future, he will tackle Cable's whole family. This cannot be allowed to happen. Deadpool agrees to help Cable. He wants to stop Rusty and prevent him from committing a crime. If he can't manage to do so in 30 seconds, he agrees to let Cable deal with him. Deadpool, Cable, Domino, and Dopinder go to the X-Men for help. The protagonist asks Colossus to forgive him for his past sins and assist them in dealing with the enormous mutant. Meanwhile, Russell and Juggernaut arrive at the orphanage and find the director. Deadpool, Cable, Domino, and Dopinder arrive there too. Unfortunately, the lad refuses to listen to anyone and blows the door open with fire. Dopinder runs away in fear, and Juggernaut attacks the mutants. Deadpool is unable to do anything against such a monster, but fortunately, they have a very lucky Domino on their team. It is she who manages to stop Juggernaut. Rusty chases the director and sets the orphanage on fire. Colossus shows up, saves our hero, and attacks Juggernaut. The fight between the two titans is very impressive and epic. Deadpool and Cable rush to save the director from furious Rusty. To do so, they have to deal with the guards. Domino saves the children from the burning building. She also has to fight with the guards, but for the super lucky girl, it's no problem. Colossus is joined by Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her friend, and together they defeat Juggernaut. Rusty finally catches up with the director and is about to set him on fire. Cable saves the man from the fireball with his shield. Rusty continues to set everything ablaze. Deadpool tries to calm him down, but the lad throws a fireball at him. Then, Deadpool takes the power-suppressing collar and puts it on himself. Rusty ignites flames in his hands. Cable grabs his gun. Seeing this, Deadpool shields the lad with his own body. The bullet meant for Rusty hits Deadpool instead. Firefist is surprised that someone sacrificed his life for him. Cable sees that his daughter's teddy bear no longer looks burnt. This means that they did manage to change the future. Colossus tries to take off Deadpool's power-suppressing collar, but Deadpool refuses, as he wants to join Vanessa in the afterlife. Deadpool sees his beloved one once again. Now he manages to pass through the invisible wall and be next to her. Cable hugs the teddy bear, activates his super watch, and returns to the moment when they arrived at the orphanage. The mutant hides Deadpool's token, which we saw at the beginning of the film, under his belt. The same events unfold, but this time, the bullet hits Deadpool's token, and he survives. Everyone is saved, including Rusty and Cable's family. The director of the orphanage shouts that all the mutants will go to hell, but at that moment, Dopinder runs him over with his taxi. Justice is served. Now, it's time to go home. By the way, in case you didn't know, Deadpool later steals Cable's time machine, asks the X-Men to fix it, and travels to the past to save his wife and Peter. And while he's at it, he decides to rewrite a couple of other storylines. Why not?